Welcome back, everyone, and thank you for joining us for another deep dive into the latest Dallas Cowboys news that's going to have fans buzzing heading into Week 2. Today, we're breaking down several key updates involving some big names on the roster, including a surprising development around rookie running back Jaydon, a promising sign for defensive tackle Mazi Smith, some concerning news on Malik Hooker, and the latest on Tyler Smith and his contract situation. This is the kind of inside look every Cowboys fan needs to fully understand how this team is shaping up early in the season. So let's settle in and go through everything, because there's a lot to unpack here, and every detail could have a direct impact on how the Cowboys attack their next matchup. First, let's start with one of the more exciting storylines that has surfaced, Jaydon. The rookie running back has been getting a lot of quiet attention throughout camp and into the preseason, but it looks like Week 2 might actually give him the opportunity to step on the field and make a real difference. Sources close to the team have indicated that coaches are becoming increasingly comfortable with his development, especially in pass protection and reading blitzes, two areas that often keep rookie backs on the sideline early in their careers. Now, with some shifts in the offensive game plan and a need for fresh legs to help manage the running back rotation, Blue may be on the verge of taking his first NFL snaps in meaningful game action. This is huge because the Cowboys have been looking for a spark behind their starter, and a versatile young back with speed and agility could bring an entirely new layer to the offense. Fans have been asking whether the Cowboys have enough explosive playmakers beyond their core stars, and this might be one of the answers. If Blue indeed sees the field in Week 2, all eyes will be on how he handles his touches, because a strong debut could push him further into the rotation going forward. Meanwhile, on the defensive side of the ball, there's encouraging news about Mazi Smith. The young defensive tackle, who had some question marks about his availability and conditioning heading into the season, now appears poised to suit up and contribute in Week 2. That's a big deal considering how important his presence is for controlling the line of scrimmage. The Cowboys' defense thrives on pressure and speed, but they know that stopping the run early and forcing opponents into predictable passing situations is key to unleashing their pass rushers. Mazi Smith's combination of strength, leverage, and ability to occupy multiple blockers could be exactly what this defensive unit needs to stay dominant up front. His return, or more accurately, his arrival at full capacity, gives defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer another piece to rotate in and keep the defensive front fresh. That depth becomes even more critical as the season grinds on, where injuries, fatigue, and matchups require every capable body to contribute. Smith playing in Week 2 not only boosts the Cowboys' run defense but also opens up creative looks that allow Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence to attack without worrying as much about interior gaps being exposed. However, not all the news is positive. Safety Malik Hooker is dealing with an injury that could have significant implications for the secondary. Hooker has been one of the steadying forces on the back end of the defense, providing veteran leadership and range at the safety position. If he's sidelined or even limited, that could force the Cowboys to shuffle their coverage schemes and rely more heavily on younger or less experienced defensive backs. The injury, according to early reports, isn't season-ending or catastrophic, but any missed time in the NFL can disrupt the chemistry of a defense, especially one that relies on timing, trust, and communication. Cowboys fans know how much this unit thrives on takeaways and big plays, and losing a player with Hooker's instincts and ball skills even temporarily puts pressure on others to step up. Expect names like Donovan Wilson and Jaydon to absorb more responsibility, and don't be surprised if the Cowboys adjust their defensive calls to account for different personnel packages if Hooker isn't ready to go at full speed. It's a delicate balance between protecting a player's long-term health and fielding the best possible defense every Sunday, and that decision could go right up to game time. And then there's Tyler Smith, whose situation might not be as dramatic as an injury or a depth chart shakeup but could be just as important in the long-term outlook of this team. Negotiations around Tyler Smith's contract have been a quiet but persistent topic behind the scenes, and the latest reports indicate that progress is being made toward locking down the young offensive lineman with a new deal. This is critical for a franchise that has historically invested in maintaining a dominant offensive line, protecting its quarterbacks, and establishing a consistent run game. Smith has already shown he can be a versatile and reliable piece, capable of anchoring different spots depending on the team's needs. Securing him now, before market prices rise even higher for premium offensive linemen, is a smart move for both stability and cap flexibility. Fans may not feel the immediate impact of contract negotiations, but keeping cornerstone players happy and under contract avoids distractions and prevents potential holdouts down the road, which can derail offensive continuity. The Cowboys know they can't afford to let the trenches weaken, and Tyler Smith represents both present strength and future promise. When you put all of these pieces together, you start to see a team that's still very much in the process of shaping its identity for this season. Jaydon Blue potentially stepping into the backfield rotation shows the team's commitment to injecting fresh talent and keeping their offense dynamic. Mazi Smith's availability in Week 2 reinforces their defensive depth and gives them more flexibility up front. Malik Hooker's injury reminds everyone just how thin the margin can be between a fully functioning defense and one scrambling to adjust. And Tyler Smith's deal underscores the front office's long-term planning to keep the roster competitive and financially balanced. For fans, it's a reminder that every headline, whether about a rookie getting his shot, a veteran nursing an injury, or a rising star working on a new contract, ties directly into how the Cowboys will perform on Sundays and how well they'll be positioned for a playoff run. Looking ahead to Week 2, all of this news converges into some very intriguing storylines. Will Jaydon Blue become the surprise spark that gives the Cowboys offense a new weapon and keeps defenses guessing? Will Mazi Smith's presence fortify the front line, helping to shut down the run and unleash the pass rush? How will the defense adapt if Malik Hooker can't go, and can the secondary hold up against a potentially aggressive passing attack from their next opponent? And could a finalized deal for Tyler Smith provide a morale boost, reinforcing that the organization values and invests in the players who make a difference on the field? These are the questions that will shape not just Week 2, but potentially the early narrative of the Cowboys' entire season. Ultimately, what we're seeing here is a franchise that is juggling the immediate demands of winning games with the long-term responsibilities of roster management and player health. The Cowboys are not just a team with talent, they're a team that understands timing, opportunity, and the importance of depth. This week's developments prove that in the NFL, no storyline exists in isolation. Every decision, every recovery, every contract negotiation is connected to the bigger picture of trying to win now while building for sustained success. Cowboys Nation should feel encouraged by the proactive approach, but also aware that the season is young, and fortunes in this league can change quickly. The key is staying healthy, staying focused, and getting contributions from every level of the roster, and this week may be the first real test of how well the Cowboys can manage that balance. So as we gear up for Week 2, all eyes will be on how these situations unfold. From the backfield to the trenches, from the secondary to the front office, the Dallas Cowboys have a lot in motion, and every piece matters. Whether you're excited about seeing Jaydon Blue take his first NFL snaps, relieved to have Mazi Smith reinforcing the defense, anxious about Malik Hooker's recovery, or optimistic about Tyler Smith's long-term future with the team, there's no doubt that this is one of the most compelling weeks of early-season Cowboys football we've seen in a while. Stay locked in, because every snap, every hit, and every deal made behind the scenes could set the tone for what's to come. If you love the Cowboys and want to stay ahead of the curve on every update, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, give this video a like if you're as excited as we are for Week 2, and join the conversation down below with your thoughts on how these moves and updates could shape the team's season. We'll keep bringing you the news, the analysis, and the behind-the-scenes insights you can't get anywhere else, so stick around, this season is just getting started.